Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Movie On Up with your hosts, me, Alfie Walker.
And me, Adam Barlow.
Hey, here we are, part 2 of our LFF BFI special, two-parter.
Yeah, that's the title.
That's exactly what the title is, yeah. Catch you. The SEO on it will be, through
the roof. How are you doing today?
Yeah, all good, mate. Working. Life is going very, very quickly. We've got graduation in, 2 weeks? Maybe not even that. It's quite scary.
Yeah, it's quite wild, isn't it?
And we've got two paydays until Christmas, so time to get spending.
God, yeah, that's true. Get that overtime in. I'm feeling gringy.
In a really good Christmassy way, or in a Michael Caine bar humbug way?
In a really good Christmassy way, I've got to say. I went round Home Bargains today, bought a pair of Grinch pants, size small, for those wondering.
Subscribe to our Patreon to see that.
And on these pants, it says "feeling Grinchy," like right over the bit where you shouldn't have anything written, really. But that's coming out Christmas Eve. I can tell you that much.
I'm sorry, what's coming out Christmas Eve? Not around the family, Adam. Goodness.
Good Lord.
There's Nan tucking into her Baileys and
Granddad on the eggnog.
Is that what you call it? Jesus. I don't want to know what goes on in your household at Christmas.
All sat around for the Wallace and Gromit Christmas special. There's Adam stark naked again. Every year.
Got his Grinch out. Oh my goodness.
It's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, we are high on life right now. We're buzzing. So I'm excited to hear about Adam's experience at the London Film Festival, especially Piece by Piece, I must say, because there's been a bit of an event went on while he was in there and all manner of things. But I don't know where we're going to start, Adam. You're going to go with Wild Robot or Piece by Piece?
Let's give the people what they want. Let's talk piece by piece. Piece by piece, piece by piece, piece by piece, piece by piece. That's literally the chorus of that song that he did. Piece by Piece is the title of the film. It's the new biopic about Pharrell Williams, ?
Vampire Man? He's like Paul Rudd. He does not age.
Yeah, do you remember? Sorry, this is such a side note. I don't know if this is going to get flagged on Spotify.
Well, we're 3 minutes in and we're already on a tangent. So good start.
Yeah. In lockdown, I remember there being a rumour that a whole host of celebrities, Ellen DeGeneres was like leading the cult, or apparently, would drink children's blood to stay youthful. Have you heard?
Yeah, I do remember seeing that on Twitter. Yeah, I do.
Wild. Anyway, back to Pharrell Williams. Yeah, it's a biopic about Pharrell Williams, who I think he's only in his early 50s, so he's not very old. But I guess he started his musical career quite young, and he's been involved in more projects than perhaps you might first think. I mean, namely, though, he does the Despicable Me films in the last sort of 10, 15 years.
Probably the only namely thing I could name, if I'm honest.
Wow. Robin Thicke, Bloodlines.
Yes,
I love that song. I know it's problematic, but it is a tune. The Snoop Dogg one, where it's like...
Snoop.
Yeah, there you go. Fix that in post. Yeah, so he's got some good songs, but I think it's an easy film to review because you know the issues we spoke about when we first heard this film was a thing.
Well, it's like, who's asking for it? Who's it for? What's the point in it?
Yeah, I kind of walked away really with the same thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like I get to kind of give it a 3. I gave it a 3-star rating on Letterboxd, right? and I feel like that
Scathing.
is a good thing to keep in your mind as you go into it. It's my least favourite Lego film they've done to date. It is the first film that Universal has done with the Lego franchise. And I just think it's such a baffling, strange departure to now have control of the Lego films, but then to do something so completely removed. So it's still animated like it's stop motion for the most part, like the Lego movies are. I actually kind of wasn't paying too much attention, but I think it is slightly smoother than the Lego movies because they are properly leaning into that.
It feels like, just from the trailers alone, from what I've seen, this one, like, in the Lego movie, the figures had thumbprints on, didn't they? Like, they'd have little inaccuracies, but I feel like from the trailers alone, that isn't present in this one. You haven't got the moulding, the seams of the mould of the Lego brick and stuff like that.
You're right. It's not quite as noticeable. But that's not to say that it doesn't have a lot of fun with its Lego style. I think it knows what it is, and I've kind of got to give respect and credit to Pharrell Williams and the director Morgan Neville, just for being so bold and courageous in making this creative, zany piece of work. And I guess the reason why he wanted Lego, he actually gave a very good reasoning for it, that they kind of give a joke excuse for it in the film, which also works. But in the Q&A before the film, in the gala screening, Morgan Neville explains that it was Pharrell's choice to do that to remove himself from the biopic a bit, so that when they were editing it, they wouldn't have to, he wouldn't just be watching himself, and in a way it is less indulgent, I think, and it works in its favour. And in a very wholesome way, he wanted to be as honest and open as he possibly could, and he felt it was easy to do that if he had this slight distance between him and the project. So that kind of opened my mind to it a bit more before they started playing the film. And on the same note, or on a similar note, having it be all about creativity, Lego is really, off the top of my head, the most definitive way of showing that physically. Such a abstract, thought and ability to have is being creative, but Lego is such a great channel for that. And music is built up in this film with colourful bricks, so I think they do give enough time and enough thought to the way that they present music and present Lego, and it does blend fairly well. So I think it is a nice idea, it is sweet, and I did find it engaging. So that's kind of the animation out the way. It isn't as fresh or as cool as the other Lego movies, but it is still it's
clever,
not totally left field.
Yeah, 100%.
Plot wise, it is a documentary, so don't go in expecting a story. It is, it's the story of his life, from being a kid in in his hometown to then getting
in
his
his
first
hometown, Transylvania.
Transylvania, yeah. The Minions house.
Yeah. Babble.
The Minions do show up. There's a cameo, where they have the minifigures of the Minions in the background, and you're like, brilliant.
Good. We said we'd be disappointed if that wasn't there, so I'm glad they ticked that box for us.
Absolutely. They recreate the happy music video as well, along with some others, which was quite nice. But I do think, again, this is more an issue with just the whole, on a conceptual level, I don't think it quite operates as well as it could have. Is the thing is with Pharrell Williams, he's only in his 50s and his career hasn't ended yet. So
God, that would be a good ending though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's it, he just backs off. It's like the weirdest mic drop in history. It's like, oh, he's dropped that Lego film and he's never going to do music again. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
He's just slit his throat on the stage.
Oh God, let's hope not. He's very nice though in person. He had just to go back to the gala screening. He had laryngitis or some throat issue on the night, so he was kind of standing there looking a little bit awkward, I would say. And Morgan Neville, the director, was doing most of the talking, and then revealed that he apologised that he couldn't talk much, but his throat was really giving in. And I'll mention it now just while I'm on the subject, but there was a protest about 5 minutes before they're going to hit play on the film, and it was from an animal rights group Yeah, it was really tense. Like the whole room fell silent, and then they started yelling like, "Pharrell, animals want to live." And then there was some guy in the row behind me to the right that must have been a huge Pharrell Williams fan, because he then stood up and was like, he was booing like, "Boo! Get him out of here! Get him out of here! I love you, Pharrell! I love you!" And he had the same voice of James Acaster. So I was like, "That's not James Acaster." I turned around and it wasn't. But what a bizarre
Joe
moment that was.
Pasquale, your impression there.
Yeah. Have you had an accident that wasn't your fault?
I don't really.
You can call direct line.
This is so like a tangent, but I don't really get the relevance of Pharrell Williams specifically indulging in like fur products, because that's what the sign said, didn't it? It was like,
yes,
something about animal fur, but I mean,
this is the thing. I kind of vaguely knew it in the back of my mind, but the film does reference the fact that he's got a clothing line. I think it's called Billionaire Boys Club. And it's like a really high-end fashion line. But I think he's also got a line out with another shop or brand at the moment that is using animal skins and stuff.
Right.
But I think it was aimed at Pharrell, but it was also more generally at the fashion industry, I suppose. Yeah. And apparently another screening of this film had been interrupted like a week or so before, so it wasn't totally out of the blue. Because I was watching Pharrell and Morgan, you know, neither of them looked particularly startled by it, so I was like, oh, that's strange. But I guess they had some media training for it. But
he was just stood on the stage, wasn't he, going like, "Thank you." What was he saying? Like in the clip, just, "Thank you," like just saying it over and over again.
God loves you. God loves you.
Media training.
Yeah. I didn't say that had a lot, but it was actually quite sweet though when they'd been kicked out, these protesters, and the film was going to start. They had the festival's director out on the stage as well as she was for the Apprentice's gala screening, and Pharrell had the mic, and kind of his voice was really giving in, like you could hardly really hear him. But he said, "I know my voice is giving in, but no words could describe my gratitude for you all being here. I really hope you enjoy the film. Have a good night." And then he got on his knee and sort of just started like sort of praising the audience. It was quite sincere.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, lovely man, lovely guy. Anyway, that being said, does he need a biopic? This is the issue I was asking myself throughout the whole film. The issue is with this film, because it's a documentary, it's not going to keep children engaged, even just because it's Lego. I don't think children are going to watch this. I think they're going to get bored halfway through, really, which I think is really an issue. I also think that parents aren't going to watch it, because I know my mum for a fact despises the Lego films. She saw the first one with me and point blank refused to see any others with me, because she was like, "Adam, I felt like I was high. I can't. It's too much. It's too hyperactive." So I mean, fair enough. And then Pharrell Williams fans, I don't know. I guess they're going to support it, obviously, but then are they going to feel somewhat cheated by the fact that it's a Lego film? It's a really, it's like a three-way, a three-way chart that doesn't match in any area.
I'm going to introduce another category there as well. So now it's now a four-way chart, in the fact that I know he has a lot of fans, but a lot of his music is produced by him. So therefore he doesn't have a fan base like the artists he's producing music for. Like, he hasn't got a fan base like Daft Punk or like, or like Justin Timberlake or like Snoop Dogg. These people that he's producing music for have got bigger fan bases. And it's just, like you said, it just seems like a weird choice. And it's funny that you've left the film with the same question in your head, kind of.
Yeah, and like to add to that mix, Kendrick Lamar, they reference the Black Lives Matter marches at some point, and it's also just tonally really strange. So that they make no attempt to disguise the seriousness of the 2020 lockdown and the Black Lives Matter movement with the Kendrick Lamar song. and I think he takes a lot more credit for that film than perhaps people would like him to, because I've seen some discourse online saying, oh yeah, he was so egotistical in the way that they showed that because he just produced it or had like one repeating line or something. But you know, Kendrick Lamar's in the film as well.
Lego.
And then they also have Lego Kendrick Lamar, sorry, yeah. It's not like Michael Caine in the Muppets movie, there's only one human character.
But I like the sound of it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. But yeah, I think it doesn't quite work. Like the Snoop Dogg scene is funny, but then kids won't know who that is. And there's a moment in the background where someone's spraying PG spray, it's labelled on a bottle, like that shark repellent gag in the Batman movie. And like it's all steamy. And then there's a moment where they have a slight drug trip where like everything goes all blocky and colourful. And you're like, yeah. But I don't, like that is funny. But it's also like, I don't know, it's just really random. I don't quite get it. And I'm sure there's other moments in there as well that I'm trying to think of at the moment. But yeah, for example, the first time a character swears in the film, I think it's the reverend in the church, or a character in the church says shit, and they blur it and they put like a poo Lego emoji over its mouth. But then later on in the film, Pharrell Williams just says shit like 5 times, and it isn't censored. So I'm like, okay, well your censorship within the film is inconsistent. So I don't even know. It's just really odd. I don't know what vibe they're going for. I don't think the film really knows. I will say though, with the documentary, what kept me engaged is Morgan Neville, the director, is in the film himself as a character. And it is framed with an interview between him and Pharrell, and it keeps coming back to this, this scene of them on the set together chatting, which you see in the trailer. And he's actually very funny because he's like one of the only white characters in the film that clearly has, I think Morgan Neville had really no idea about that whole music genre before doing this film. Well, that's the vibe I got anyway. So it is kind of nice that I could relate to Morgan Neville discovering this world of music more deeply. So I think he does do a great job, and he's very funny in it as well. For a director cameo, he does a great job, and is really the secondary lead of the film, which is interesting. From what I could gather, they actually filmed the movie in live action and then animated it. So there's some shots with musicians, and they'll be walking through a space, like through a town or through a city, by a basketball court or something, and the lighting, like you could really see how that was a live action shot before, with like the sun glaring and the camera will be moving around them. But then it's all done in Lego. So I don't know how much they actually did film in live action first. I'm really not sure how honest they were about it. Yeah. But if that's the case, it kind of gives me the same vibe of Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox, right? Because they did the same thing. It definitely doesn't work as well as that. But if that's the case, then that is a neat thing to have done. But it's also like, what does that add? Really, not much. There's only a couple more things I want to say. The cast obviously is great. If you're a fan of this music genre, you're going to love it. Obviously, Pharrell Williams is in it. You've got Kendrick Lamar, Chad Hugo, who was sort of Pharrell Williams' main guy in the Neptunes, the bands that he was in, like producing duo he was in. Snoop Dogg's in it. Daft Punk. I don't know if they reunited for it. I don't think they did. But Gwen Stefani, Pusha T, Busta Rhymes, Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, Teddy Riley, loads of huge producers and musicians and rappers and hip-hop artists and pop stars. Missy Elliott.
I'd love to know how they proposed this to those artists as well. I'd love to know how the conversation came along, where Pharrell was like, right, I'm doing a biopic, and I'd love you to be in it, and they're like, oh yeah, amazing, and like, but it's going to be in Lego. Yeah, it's just a really interesting. Imagine him going to Jay-Z and saying that is like such a weird concept that you never think would come up. But like, yeah, again though, there's moments in the film where they do joke about that, and I think it's good that you highlighted Jay-Z. I think he does have a line in the film where he's like, "What do you mean this is going to be a Lego movie? Are you serious?" or something like that. Like they do poke fun at it. But yeah, I was just going to say about the cast is great. I will say there's a handful of celebrity musicians in there that I don't think
I mean, they can't voice act, so they're actually mumbling their lines, and kind of they've got very gravelly voices. They're all using slang, and it's animated in Lego, so you also
Can't lip read.
Yeah, it's really difficult, I think, to pick up some of the dialogue. I would say maybe, like, I'm not exaggerating, I would say maybe a quarter of the dialogue in this film went over my head. Like, I didn't understand it, or I didn't hear it.
Do you know what? This is sounding like that scene from Airplane where there's the two black men and they're speaking jive, and then the old woman is like goes and interprets them because the woman on the plane can't understand them.
Yeah, I mean, man, listen, my favourite artist is George Ezra, so I'm by no means the
so white
the target audience for this. Yeah, you know, I enjoyed a good number of the music in this film, but I think it's worth noting that, again, I think children will struggle to exactly actually understand what people are saying to each other, especially because it makes no attempt to dumb down the content as well. Like, there's a lot of, if you don't know what producing is, which I think some adults might not actually know what that is. Like, what do you mean produce a music song? Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? And frankly, it's not that interesting to look at. It's just people moving up dials. And there is a lot of that in this film. Like, it's Lego dials, but it's like, it's not like that's not really a story. It's not a film, you know? It's just people moving and pressing buttons. And it's other characters, other recognizable names saying, oh, he was so good at it. I could tell he was going to be great. But then it's just a Lego character.
Yeah.
It's just a Lego character in front of a board pushing dials up. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't quite work. So when it does have those moments where it is more creative and he's going to space and stuff and you know, drowning in a water, you know, drowning in floods of responsibility and stuff, when it gets more metaphorical, I like it, because that's when it leads into the Lego animation. But when it is more grounded and just them in music studios, I'm like, I really don't think this is going to draw anyone in. And then, to wrap it up, my final point with the film is, again, back to the fact that he's only 51 or, you know, in his 50s, that sort of age. There isn't really a 3-act structure, or that they try to give one, but I don't think it works all that well. So obviously you have him growing up, him getting his first few hits, and then the sort of, you know, the lull between the second and the third act where something has to go wrong. What they have as this thing going wrong is just 3 minifigures, unnamed characters. They don't have any lines, they just sort of grunt and murmur. And they're like washed out, they're grey minifigures with black suits on, and they've all got like wild hairstyles. And they're just referred to as like businessmen or money men. Okay. And then it's just him being torn in different directions to try and appeal to the most widest audience. Okay. And then the kind of culmination of the, you know, the emotional arc is him realizing, I can't do all this stuff, I just have to be me. Which I'm like, that's just the most basic.
Yeah, that's just everything ever, isn't it? Every hero's journey,
I just thought it was a really lazy cop out, and especially when the characters are unnamed. Like, I don't think that it will just go over people's heads. You're gonna sit a kid down and be like, look, this is an artist that you might not even recognize, but look at all this struggle that you had with the money man. Like they could, you know what, they could have had like some joke about Octan, the Lego company.
Yeah,
they could have had a little business cameo or something.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
Literally.
Yeah, get me in as a writer. I could have made this film much better. But
it's interesting. It's so, like I said, I haven't seen it yet, and I will see it. But 2 things standing out to me are, one is that the first thing we ever said about this film was, who on earth is it for? And it still feels like they also don't know, because it's clearly not for children and it's clearly not for adults. And secondly, I feel like it maybe would have just worked better as a documentary. And then maybe when they do the funky dream metaphorical sequences, turn that into animation, or if you're really set on the idea, Lego. But it just feels like it would have worked better as a normal documentary.
You're quite right. I think I'll give it this. It's only 90 minutes. It doesn't take the piss. I think it's like 1 hour and 33.
God,
like
imagine it being 2:15.
Yeah, Christ. Perish the thought. As I say, I think Morgan Neville does a great job. He, you know, we've given. I don't know why. I don't know if someone came to him with this idea. I think he won an Oscar for Best Documentary in 2014. So 10 years on, he's got this, and I do feel like this was just sprung on him, and he's like, okay, I've done a documentary before. I'm good at it. I'll give it a go. But yeah, I think like the third act, I was just a bit lost by it at that point. I was a bit like, okay, what is the point in this? I don't think that ever revealed itself to me. But that aside, when Daft Punk's Get Lucky song comes in, that's like the turnaround point. He realises like he has a monologue. Then that comes in and he comes shooting back down to Earth from space, and it is just blasting out the cinema. I'm like, fuck, man, it's such a good song. Such a good song. And that song, I put it in my Letterboxd review, but that song makes me want to levitate. It is one of the, it's actually such a good song. I love it. So, I mean, yeah, that was a good moment. There's also, sorry, I didn't even mention, there's an E.T. cameo in this, but yeah.
Love that. Lego E.T.
yeah.
Too right.
So yeah, it'll be your favourite film of the year after.
Yeah.
Unofficial E.T. 2. It's such an intriguing film. I really don't know.
I think it's done abysmally box office wise. It's not out in the UK yet, I don't think, is it? But it is in the US, and apparently it's like not even surfaced.
It's really going to struggle in the UK. Not only has he probably got a third the size of an audience in the UK, it also comes out the same week as Paddington in Peru. You're telling me kids are going to pick this over Paddington in Peru?
Yeah,
and if they do, they're going to be so bored. They're going to walk out. They're going to leave. I'm sorry.
Now we're on to our final film from the London Film Festival. Of the 4 that Adam got to go see, this one is The Wild Robot.
Yes, so this is the latest film from DreamWorks. Second film I believe they've done this year. The first one being Kung Fu Panda 4. Remember that? Honestly, DreamWorks is so hit and miss. They either do one of the greatest animated films of the year, or they do one of the worst. I mean, you know, they did Puss in Boots: The Last Wish last year, which I adored. And then flunked it with Kung Fu Panda 4, but now they're back with this. At the moment, it's got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen nothing but praise for this film. Comes out in a couple of weeks' time, or maybe 3 weeks. No, wait, 18th of October. No, sorry, what am I saying? It's already out in the UK. I was looking at the wrong month. Already out in the UK, so go and watch this, in short. Go and see this rather than piece by piece. But I'll get into it. Cast, you have Lupita Nyong'o, who we both thought was excellent in the most recent A Quiet Place film. She plays Roz the robot, who is the main character in this book, in which the film is based on. Chris Sanders directs it, who I could be wrong. Is that the guy who did Toy Story 4? Or have I got... No, sorry, he did Lilo and Stitch.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so he's an accomplished director by all accounts. But the cast is stacked. Lupita Nyong'o doing a great job, of course, and the way that she gives real human emotion to this robotic character that literally starts off just following protocol, and then how she slowly breaks away from that. It's very nice, very, very strong work. You've got Kit Connor playing Bright Bill, who is this little goose that, through plot reasons, loses his family, and is a bit of he's a runt of the litter, really. He gets bullied by other geese, and he just struggles. Can't fly, can't swim, can't even fend for himself when he was a little baby. You know, he can't eat, so Roz has got to help him and become his mother, basically. Along the journey, though, you meet Fink the fox, played by Pedro Pascal, which I was incredibly excited to realise that he is actually probably in it more than Bright Bill. Like, he's the secondary character to Roz, and he's hilarious in this movie. The animation of the fox is excellent, and his voice work outstanding. Genuinely one of the best animated characters. I actually loved it. And it's Pedro Pascal playing that playful, silly version of him that you get in like interviews on YouTube. It's not, it's not the gritty, defender of a younger child that we've seen in The Mandalorian and The Last of Us and all things like that. It's totally different Pedro Pascal here, and it's a delight to watch. You've got Bill Nye in a small role, but playing Longneck, who's this older goose that's leading the migration that year. You've got Stephanie Sue from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I didn't actually recognise her voice in this, but yeah, only a small role, but is perfectly fine. Ving Rhames, I recognised his voice. I was like, who is that? Only realised it was him in the credits. He plays Thunderbolt, which is an eagle that helps Bright Bill learn how to fly. You've also got, as you can tell, it's a stat cast. You've got Matt Berry in here as a beaver.
Love that. Okay.
And he's got a lot of lines. It's kind of an extended cameo. He's very, very funny, as you can imagine. Catherine O'Hara, who's just done an incredible stint in Beetlejuice, of course, back in this as Pinktail, which is a possum, I think. And most of her lines have something to do with death. That she's got like 8 children in this film. It's got and that goes to the whole film really. It's got a hugely dark sense of humour, which really caught me by surprise. I've never seen death and like killing be so overt in a children's film before, I don't think. Like, it really is. Characters get killed off screen. Characters joke about killing other characters. It's constant for the first for the first half of the film, I would say. It's wild. It is wild. Very, very funny though. It really caught me off guard. I was like, oh my god, okay, it's not pulling its punches. And then I think, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's in this. That's if I'm honest, it's the one performance I didn't care for. He plays Thorn, which I think is the bear, and he's not given much to do really. He has maybe a handful of lines, and it's just Mark Hamill doing a low gruff voice. It didn't really grab me, especially not compared to everyone else I've just listed. So yeah, it's strange that they have such a big star attached and in such a kind of meaningless role. But anyway, apart from him, I think cast will do a stellar job. Really properly good. It's like, you know when you watch an animated film and you're like, this isn't just celebrities cast to get the adults in. This is celebrities there to do that, but also really putting in the effort and being eccentric and being weird and trying stuff out. And it really is, I think, my favourite part of the film.
I love that though, because I have such a problem with nowadays with casting celebrities to do voice acting. I hate now that it's a lot of animated films are no longer done by voice actors. They're done by standard actors or just celebrities. But that makes me so happy to hear that everyone's putting in like 101% kind of thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I think, especially in the last since the 2000s, really, right? Since Shrek, since Madagascar, those kinds of films.
I think Shrek was the one.
Kung Fu
from what
Panda.
I'm aware, Shrek was the one that started it all, I think.
Sparked, I think, maybe by Robin Williams as the genie.
Genie, yeah.
But it's got, infinitely worse now. I mean, you see, Mario movie was fine, but it's totally, just random celebrities drawn together.
Yeah, Transformers 1 again from
but
last week, isn't it? Like, as much as you can be happy with a performance, it's still sometimes a bit grating, I'd say, isn't it? Yeah, totally. But it really properly works in this film, and I think if you don't quite know what I'm talking about, like what I'm describing in the way that they're voice acting, quote unquote, go and watch the film and you'll realise, they're actually doing something, which sounds like such a low bar, but it's really excellent work. I can't praise it enough. I only gave it, I think, 4 stars on Letterboxd, but it's a really solid film. The reason I held back from giving it 4.5 and 5, which other people have done, is I was kind of willing the film to make me well up and to make me really sad. And there are some lovely moments, really, really heartwarming moments, and some sad moments as well, where either a song starts playing or the score ramps up or the characters will just be in a dark place. And it is sad, but I personally never, I never cried or anything.
And that's what held me back, because Inside Out 2 earlier this year really did make me cry. This just it didn't quite get me. Not to say that it hasn't got the capacity to do so. I just think the atmosphere that maybe I watched it in just didn't lend itself to that. I was eating food, and I was I was actually I was more enjoying it on a technical level. So I think in that respect, I was looking more at the animation and looking more at the voice acting than the story of it. So maybe if I watch it again on my own on a Sunday afternoon, I'd be like, yeah, this is sad. But
there's quite a fine balance to do, though, isn't there? Because you often have the Pixar emotional manipulation, which is sometimes too much. I'm trying to think of a Pixar film that's done it recently. I'd say maybe, I don't know, it was Coco, I think, was a bit like that, potentially. Or the one where it was Tom Holland and Chris Pratt playing brothers.
Yeah,
which
that's the one that comes to my mind. Yeah,
for me. And it was just like, oh my God, dead dad, dead this, dead. And it's just like, and you're like actually crying, and it's emotional, like manipulation level of sad. Whereas balancing it against, maybe something like this, where you just shed a tear at the end, which I would prefer. I do think that's nicer. And yeah, like you said, you're in the wrong environment in a packed screening and eating food and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm quite nice, looking forward to seeing it, to maybe experience it. Now I know that it's so good, because I have seen people raving about it, and they released a clip of Pedro Pascal doing the voice acting in the studio, and he's literally acting in there. Like, he's not just reading the lines, he is like doing arm movements and moving his face fully, like it's for mocap. Like, it's so great. It looks so great.
That's lovely. That's how it should be. And I do agree. I think it can almost feel a bit cringy when a film tries too hard to make you cry, or to have that emotional third act punch, because it doesn't always need it. This film does have one. It just didn't get me personally. But yeah, in a roundabout way, I think I was having too much fun with it to be sad. I was just like, this is a great film. It's really solid work from everyone involved. And then kind of forgetting, like, oh wait, that's a sad moment, but it's kind of passed me by. But yeah, properly enjoyed it. It was a busy cinema screen, and all the kids in there really liked it. The animation, I've not even mentioned it yet. It's deliberately given this paintwork-like feel, not too dissimilar to actually what they did with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It's given that same kind of almost hand-drawn, hand-painted feel that does emulate somewhat the art style of the books. There is actually a sequence where they tell a story to another character, and that is done with an animated version of the book's artwork, and I thought that was really, really very clever. But yeah, animation, needless to say, it's up there for me with Spider-Verse, up there with how creative the first Lego movies were. It's up there with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one they did last year.
I do love that though. Like, seeing that's something that they've stepped up with animation, I'd say, or other studios have, because I think Disney's last hand-drawn animated film, I think, was Princess and the Frog in like 2010. And then every film that they produced, and I know Disney's the one to hate on because it's the big studio, but every film they released was then in the same animated style. And then it's so cool to see, the Lego movies come out with stop motion-y, and then have stuff like the Puss in Boots Last Wish and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then this come out and just show that, like, there's more to animated films than like this generic art style. It's nice to see them actually sort of going somewhere different and seeing it pay off, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Puss in Boots especially, hit off like mad. Spider-Verse, like all of them, they are praised endlessly for their animation, so it's nice to see studios go somewhere different with it.
I really think that in some respects animation is struggling at the moment, but then, as you say, with the animation, the actual artists are pushing the boat out. And as much as you can hate on things like Kung Fu Panda 4, Garfield, what was the other film I saw this year?
Wish, Disney 100,
Despicable Me 4, Wish. It almost feels like I'm saying this once every 6 months, but the animation is gorgeous in this. And like Inside Out 2, and like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, like Spider-Verse, if you had to single out just one animation film to watch every 6 months, I'd see this. It's better than Transformers 1. Yeah, I think it's probably on the same bar as Inside Out 2. I think the animation is actually better because Inside Out 2 is it's an improvement on the 2015 first film, but this is specifically more interesting to look at because it is different. So it kind of depends on what you want from an animation film, but I really thought it was beautiful, and because it is so about nature and about wildlife, it's really important, I think, that they got that right, and they smashed it, getting nature to look so lush and so vibrant and so alive. It's a really wonderful film, and I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't feel quite as moved as perhaps the film deserved me to feel and wanted me to feel. But I think if you go and see this, don't bother piece by piece. If I'm honest, check it out just out of morbid curiosity and be like, okay, interesting, moving on. But the wild robot will stay with you for longer, and it will mean something more. It's actually telling a story. It's trying to do something different. It's got a good cast, as I say, great cast, fantastic cast, and I'm pretty sure a second one's already on the way. Like they've greenlit it, so there's three books in the series, so potentially 2 more films on the way.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Alfie. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. It's been a while since you've been here. I think it's probably been about two or three episodes, if I had to take a guess.
It's been, frankly, far too long.
Far too long. I'm pretty sure the reason you haven't been on is because of that interview you did with an American news show where you said you voted for Brexit, which is quite a statement. But
the issue I had with that was actually what I thought it was if someone was asking me if I wanted breakfast, and I said I bloody love some.
Okay, yeah, because in the interview he does go on about like rich men and poor men, so yeah, easily mistaken, I guess. What is your favourite breakfast?
I love a bit of Alpen, but what I do is I soak it in water just so that it's not too hard for me old teeth, and then what I do is I put it in a colander and I shake it out and put it into another bowl. And then after that, I have the apple with some... Sorry, Alpen, not apple. Sometimes I'll chop some apple up, though. It depends what day of the week it is. And then what I do is I put milk, double cream, single cream, and chocolate cream all on top. Then I pour that off as well, because I don't want too much cream on it. And then I put custard on top. And then finally, I put more water in.
God, no wonder you've got such a great figure, Michael. All that cream and chocolate cream and custard on your breakfast. You have that every morning.
Every other morning, let's be fair.
Boiled egg and soldiers.
And they'll stand to attention and salute me.
Do you fancy reading a bit of your book?
I'd love absolutely nothing more. Now, seeing as Adam can't join me, as bloody usual, I thought I'd pick out a chapter that in some ways describes him. This is called The Bad and the Ugly. Bad directors are bad for all the same reasons other bosses are bad. They are not good enough at their jobs, they don't work hard enough, or they are bullies. Of course, it's more fun to learn from good directors, but even the bad ones have good things to teach you, like self-protection and self-reliance, which are part of being a true professional. And in the very worst cases, they might force you to learn how to direct yourself. There was one movie I worked on where it quickly became clear to the entire cast that the director was off with the fairies, probably tapping them up for the fairy dust he seemed to have developed a taste for. We realised we'd have to deliver this picture ourselves. In brackets, I wrote, we did, and the director in question was deemed to have done a fabulous job. The boss takes credit for other people's work in all walks of life.
Wow. Do you fancy sharing a little bit of an industry secret and maybe letting us know what film that was, whether the director was off sniffing cocaine or you actually ran the shop?
I actually can't remember who it was, but just for the sake of content and total misinformation, Shall I say that his name rhymed with Tris Bolan? It was Tris Bolan.
If I rubbed the lamp and a genie granted me 3 wishes, one of my wishes would I genuinely have infinite wealth, infinite health for family and friends and myself, and my third wish would be to show Michael Caine all of our Caine's Corner clips and see what he thinks.
You know he'd love it. He'd love it. He'd give us like a weird sort of like wry look, like.
I think he wouldn't get it at first, and then once we're a couple in, he'd like warm up.
Absolutely. There's got to be a way. Like, he's retired. What else is he doing? He needs something to pass the time by.
We should send him the audio file, cut them all together, and say, "Hi, Michael. We do an impression of you on our podcast every week."
Yeah, it's out of respect, Michael. I'm sure you'll understand, but yeah. I mean, I'm praying because he's got a new. This is such a tangent, but he's got a new book coming out. I think next month. And if he does a book signing, I'm going along. I don't care where it is. Right. I'm going along.
What's the? Is it another autobiography? Is putting the bloody doors back on?
Blowing my back out. No.
Thank you for listening to the podcast this week. We've had the 2 episodes out, so if you didn't catch our first one that was released a bit earlier in the week on the Wednesday, part 1 of this London Film Festival special, please go give it a listen. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email in hello@movieonup.com.
You can also go to our social media channels. Our TikTok and Instagram have the same handle. It is @movieonup. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple, just like Michael Caine likes it. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week with Adam's just got back from the London Film Festival and he's already out watching more films. You caught a film that you didn't rate very good on your letterbox. No.
What did I see? It might be another 4 films next week, actually, but I saw Between the Temples, which is a film of Jason Schwartzman. It's an interesting one. And then what else did I see? Sing Sing as well, finally.
Sing, one which you gave a great rating to be honest. So you can hear all about that one next week.
Yeah, I really like that.
Any other big
Venom
films out?
Comes out this week.
Venom. Right, there we go. That'll be the one that I go see with Lenny, probably.
Yeah. You could double bill it. That and The Wild Robot would be pretty good.
A pretty good double bill, right.
And then there's one other film. I think the new one with Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore called The Room Next Door. It is.
God, we got a lineup. Me and Adam did the gracious thing of writing down all the films he's interested in over the next sort of couple of months, and the list is a lot, so be ready for some bonus episodes too, I imagine, because we're not going to be able to fit 4 films a week in, I think.
Yeah, the listeners are going to go mental. Oh man, what an odd week of films it was. Like, what a strange week.
Yeah, right. Like weirdest and lows and super highs. But what fun you had, right? It was a good time at the film festival.
Yeah, you missed out. I'm sorry about your train issues and then falling ill as well.
It's a bit, it's shit. But we've sort of made a pact, haven't we, that next year I'm gonna officially book time off work. So I should be in like proper full-time employment. Then I'm gonna book time off work, and Adam's gonna hopefully book a bit of time off too, and we'll grab a hotel for a night or two, and we'll try get a load of tickets and enjoy it to the max. I'd say have a night out drinking and nice early showings here and there, and we'll make a proper thing of it. So it may be in a year's time, but the podcast will still be going, and hopefully you'll get to experience all of that with us.
Absolutely. yeah, next premiere we go to, I'm dragging you along as well, whether you want to see the film or not. But whatever the next opportunity is.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
As always, listeners, thank you very much for tuning in.
If I don't see you through the week, guys,
We'll see you through the window.